Hi everyone. Happy Friday. We made it through another week. We have another weekend coming up if time like that is the way you're tracking. Um, I wanted to do a queer church and just connect and send some time for us to carve out for grounding and release because we are very much still in eclipse season. This is sort of a midpoint check-in. How was last weekend for you? How was all of the intense energies? I'm hoping that all of the things that are being shaken up in the snow globe time aren't impacting you too badly or are like as they're meant to be. I think it's tricky because I think sometimes when we're doing a spiritual practice or we are following astrology or we are tapping in to some type of support, we want it's because we have a goal, like we want to move forward with something. We want, I know when I first started doing moon rituals, when I first started kind of getting into energy work, I, without really knowing it, was really just finding different ways to try to control my life. It's like, I'm going to do this moon ritual to release jealousy and therefore keep my relationship. I'm going to do this manifestation in order to attract the way that I can work with my boss so that she's not mad at me all the time. I'm going to use these tools to tweak what isn't working while kind of remaining the same in my life because I'd already been through so much change and I really wasn't willing to accept for a long time that the degree to which I was going to have to burn things down to start fresh. And I don't know if any of that resonates with you. But what I love about working with astrology, the moon, I mean, sidebar, spoiler alert, that relationship did not work, did not end out. That job I have not been in since 2021. And here we are. So eclipse season is like all of that magnified. The time we're in right now is very much it's going to be what it's going to be. And I used to kind of fear that. I used to really want to manifest. And now I've begun to appreciate eclipse season for a time to let go. This is a time when the cosmos, the astrology, the forces, however you think of it, nature, our guides, our ancestors, are all saying, it's okay. We will take care of this. We see the progress you have made towards whatever, and we're gonna do the rest. And you just get to lay back, and we'll see where we are as we approach the Aries solar eclipse, which is going to be a big fire moment. I'll talk more about that next week. If you want to work with me, I'm doing a moon meet in Oakland on the 18th, where we'll focus on the end of eclipse season and this Aries moment. Aries, again, is action. It's going to be a time to do, a time to put forward, or we'll figure out what the steps are for us. So right now, we are not. Right now, we ground, we rest, we grieve, we let go. So, one of my books that I turn to when I am trying to get out of my own way and see bigger pictures is this. It's Pocket Pema. Pema Chodron is a Tibetan Buddhist monk who is queer leaning, and this is one of the first books that came to me and found its way to me when I had left the church. I was raised Catholic. When I was didn't have the books and the prayers and the words and the rituals for guiding my life that I used to have, and it's always been really useful. I typically read it before bed, but today it'll be a reading. So go ahead and, as always, let that all go. Whatever came up as I was talking, if anything did, we'll just let that release. let that roll off. Ground for a moment in this moment, in the little trust. And just thank yourself for taking some time to not scroll, to not do, to just sit and feel and breathe for a minute. And let whatever words come up here do the same, wash over. If anything sticks or resonates, let it stick. Anything else, just let it go. There's 2 on this page. I'm going to read this one. It's no happy ending. In one of the first teachings I ever heard, the teacher said, I don't know why you came here, but I want to tell you right now that the basis of this whole teaching is that you're never going to get it all together. It felt a little like he had just slapped me in the face or thrown cold water over my head, but I've always remembered it. There isn't going to be some precious future time when all the loose ends are tied up. Even though it was shocking to me, it rang true. One of the things that keeps us unhappy is the continual searching for pleasure or security, or searching for a little more comfortable situation, either at the domestic level or the spiritual level, or the level of mental peace. That seems fitting to what I was saying. So how do we, just not always be using spiritual tools to keep searching, keep pulling, keep wanting, keep tweaking? And how do we use them instead as tools to stay present, to be all right with ourselves, even in really terrible and horrific times, like right now? And in order to support that, I'm going to pull from the crystal deck. One thing I love about crystals is that they are little mini natural energy workers. So crystals will vibrate according to their like chemical makeup. I'm also a big chemistry nerd. The way that they're configured, the way that they are made to actually stay together. Is also creating tension that creates vibration that comes out and sends energy out. So that's why crystals support our healing. That's why crystals shift our space. That's why our computers are working, and also that energy work like through technology. It's all crystals in here, creating this image going to you. Not to be too nerdy about it, but let's see what kind of crystal might be useful in this moment. Again, this in between eclipses, this time for just tending to ourselves after and during big shifts that might be happening. What would be useful? Ooh. Okay, this is hematite. Says, what is it? Hematite is a metallic charcoal that takes its name from the Greek word blood. Like blood, it's full of iron, and like blood, hematite moves the good to where you need it and takes the bad from where you don't. Ooh, what an eclipse season idea! That's what the cosmos are doing, even if it doesn't feel like it, and even if the shifting is painful, taking and shifting where things need to be. Who needs it? Anyone stagnating or spun out on something like a new crush or a lifelong existential drama. So again, if you're feeling in this intensity of a moment in eclipse season, especially the first eclipse being in Pisces, which is very emotion-led, lots of intense feelings, this stone can kind of either get us unstuck and let us help and understand and make peace with, or go through the grief of change. Where to put it? Wherever you are when you realize it's time to come back to earth. Maybe some realities are making themselves known for us at this time. When to use it? When you feel stuck, when it's that moon time of the month, when you want to pull energy from the earth below and use it to make big things happen. Ooh, I love this too because so much about eclipse is the moon and the cosmos and the stars and above us energy. And this is also saying, how do we pull up grounding energy from the earth to perhaps balance all of the things that are going on? Well, this is hematite. So whether you want to grab some of that or just kind of bring some of that energy into your grounding this week, that is another offering. And before we pull our final tarot card, let's just do a little bit of energy. Let's just do a bit of grounding together. Since there is so much above, again, let's just take a moment to connect to your body fully. Maybe, and I share this, maybe you hold your heart, hold your hips, hold your legs, hold yourself, and just feel into the 3D shell that is your body. And just take a moment. Just take this moment to connect to yourself, ground. Maybe you spend a little bit of time and light and attention to your root chakra at the base of your seat. We're sitting here, and just light that area up. That is our space in our body that says, I am safe. The world is safe. My world is safe. My body is safe. And we send a little bit of that grounding energy. We reconnect a little bit with our own ability to feel safe, feel grounded, feel trust. And maybe from that space, maybe from the backs of your legs or the bottom of your feet, you grow some roots down. Either actual roots in the tree you can imagine, or a rope, or just feel all the way connected, not just to the floor below you, but to the earth below and the ancient wisdom beneath. Root yourself, root your energy into, I'm just getting like the image of barefoot walking on the earth in dirt and grass, earth and plants. And just bring that energy up into your body, feeling for a moment that connection, that trust. Maybe take a deep, nourishing breath in and bring it all the way down. Maybe breathing out, you let something go. Maybe if there's something swirling around in your head that you want to make sense, you want to figure out, but is not making sense, maybe with your next breath, you let that melt down and release out your mouth, release out your nose, release away from you, because you do not need to figure it out right now. And you bring in one last nourishing breath, feeling the lightness in our body, feeling the way our spine holds and our nervous system holds when we have trust and grounding. All right, we'll let that go. I'm going to pull a card to make it through another week, get one more moment of guidance with everything that's been said, where we are in between eclipses in this moment, and wherever you are individually this moment. What do we need to hear collectively to move forward? So we have the 9 of Cups. This is a water sign. This is a heart-led moment. This is our emotions. being here for us. This is making it from the ace idea of our hearts and our emotions almost to the 10, not quite, but before. And it's saying, it's showing the abundance. It's showing what's here for us in terms of emotional support. And when I'm talking here about trust in the eclipse time, when I'm talking here about what it means to tap into our emotional supports, this is a reminder that it's already here, that the things you need for emotional security and safety are already here. And you can kind of see the person is like, I'm not sure. This is a reminder when we pull this to look up, to look around, to kind of build that trust in again, to uncross our arms, to open our hearts, to relax our bodies. May you embody that this week, if it serves you. And I will see you next week. We'll talk about the eclipse, the solar eclipse. We'll talk about Aries and movement. And if you are around in the Bay, I have a lot of events coming up. If you want an email about them, they're in my newsletter. Otherwise, I'll be sharing about them, and maybe I'll see y'all at Queer Magic tomorrow. Have a great week.